If you're running Facebook ads for a healthcare organization, there's a good chance that you're violating HIPAA and you don't even know it. In this video, I'm going to share with you some tips to take the first steps towards running meta ads, making them HIPAA compliant while not making your performance completely tank. Step number 1, there is one non-negotiable rule. Meta can never receive PHI. Do not upload your patient lists to Meta's backend to the Facebook Ads Manager. So for step 2, remove the meta pixel from sensitive pages, because the meta pixel automatically sends page views, URLs, and metadata about those pages back to Facebook, which if Meta wanted to, they could tie back a specific user to needing information and potentially having a specific condition. So just to use a very sensitive topic, let's say you run an STD clinic and you have a URL, chlamydia-treatment-Chicago. When Mary Smith visits that page because she's interested in scheduling an appointment, you sending that URL information back to Meta will constitute a HIPAA violation. So if you do decide to ignore my advice and you do install the meta pixel on this website, don't fire it on your appointment pages, your patient portals, your intake or your medical forms, any sort of care-related thank you pages, or frankly, any condition or treatment-specific pages, which means don't install it in the header or the footer. And if you do, default to not firing it and really just defining what pages it is allowed to fire on. Step 3, stop sending sensitive information through your events and URLs. So even with the pixel removed, PHI can still leak through event names. In other words, something like start therapy intake. Don't include any URLs or parameters that include words related to conditions, provider names, or appointment types. Strip all query parameters and use generic names like lead or contact, and don't pass any page titles back to Meta either. Step 4, use server-side tracking with a HIPAA-compliant intermediary. Meta will not sign a BAA, Google Ads won't sign a BAA, but Google Cloud will, which means that instead of sending data straight from your website over to Meta, you can send it through Google Cloud and clean it. You can control what Meta receives. Anything resembling PHI can be filtered or erased entirely. Free text fields can be blocked, and accidental deletes are going to be far less likely. All right, step 5, this is the big part. You're going to configure your conversions API without compromising PHI. Mind you, it's not going to be able to optimize the delivery to people on the platform that look like people that have visited your website, but at least now it'll know what ads and what creative is actually driving outcomes from your campaign. Start with a strict whitelist. Only send the bare minimum that Meta needs. Send fields like lead, event times. Again, don't send any information about a diagnosis or treatment, appointment IDs, patient information, or page titles or URLs that have conditions in them. Next, create a deny list of pages that should never be sent back to Meta. Appointment or booking URLs, patient portals, condition-specific paths, any query parameters, which means event source URL is not getting sent back. This actually is the most common PHI leak point. Next, use generic event semantics. Contact, like I said earlier, is fine. Not fine, scheduled appointment. Consult request. Intake started. In these cases, these events are telling Meta that this visitor booked an appointment. Next, do not send free text fields. Message fields, symptoms, reasons for a visit, none of this should get sent back to Meta. Finally, you're going to need visibility. Log outbound CAPI payloads securely. Review samples regularly. And make sure that you're retesting all of this every time that you change the website, you add new forms, you put up a new campaign, or if you're doing anything with Tag Manager. And at the end of the day, Meta should only receive high-level, non-identifiable conversion data. So sending information back about generic leads, okay. Non-medical page views, also okay. Aggregated campaign performance, okay. But I would also add that you should avoid any sort of retargeting, any sort of condition-based audiences, and any sort of lookalikes from sensitive needs. I'd even add in here that even any sort of targeting that happens on platform. So for example, that you create an audience of people that watched a specific Instagram reel that you posted and delivering further ads to those people. Not a HIPAA violation, but in many cases, if you are a high-profile target, you are painting a bullseye on your back. And even if that wasn't a violation, you could potentially have lawyers digging around looking for something else that you may have made a mistake with. Something silly like you embedded a YouTube video in a blog. Stuff that would have flown under the radar had it not been for this targeting that you did on platform that wasn't even a HIPAA violation to begin with. So now that your tracking is going to become a lot more limited, your strategy matters more. You can't rely on the AI to do all your work for you. That means you're going to have to lean into broader audience targeting. You're going to have to lean into messaging and creative that's going to call out the people that you want the platform to get in front of. And you probably are going to have to adjust your attribution expectations. You're going to have a lot of leads that you generate and a lot of revenue that you drive that you are not necessarily going to be able to know came from your Meta ads campaigns. Welcome to the modern age of digital marketing.